Howdy class, my name is Jedediah Esposito. I'll be your instructor for this course. I wanted to go ahead and try something different and do a little video introduction, and I also, along the same lines, want to encourage you guys to go ahead and try new things in this course with the discussion forums. So if you find a cool way to share a project or to respond to a post on a discussion forum, whether that be video or a presentation you made that explains your answer to the post, things like that, go ahead and try that out. I'm not going to grade you any differently if you're using a different way, as long as you're addressing the question. And I want to encourage you also to use the discussion forums as a means to get to know your classmates and a means to get to know the content better. I completed a master's degree actually fully online, and I will tell you right now that I learned so much more from the other students in my master's program in those classes than I did from the teacher or from the textbooks. So I really encourage you to use the discussion forums and get to know each other as best you can. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about me. I graduated with my undergrad from Northern Arizona University, and that's in elementary education. So you might be thinking, well, what's he doing teaching a CIS course if his degree's in elementary ed? Well, that's a little bit further on in the story. So I started teaching 5th grade in Kingman when I graduated. I also had an opportunity to go teach overseas in South Korea. When I was in South Korea, I was thinking I want to kind of have some technical skills as well. So I went ahead and did my master's degree online while I was teaching English in South Korea. Don't recommend that. It was crazy. It was still a good experience. But my master's degree is in IT management, so I do know what I'm talking about. You can feel comfortable about that. And so I finished up there, came back to Kingman, got a job with MCC actually, both teaching some online classes and working full-time for them in the distance education office, kind of managing Angel, which is the software that you're using now. And I don't do that anymore, so I can't really answer all your questions about Angel. I might be able to help you with a couple things, but I don't have the access I used to have. But now I live in Seattle, and I work as an instructional designer, and everyone always asks me what an instructional designer is because it's kind of, not heard of in most places. So I actually work for the county, and I create ongoing online training for paramedics and EMTs. And the training has helped them to recertify and keep up on their skills and hopefully save more lives in the end. And so what you do as an instructional designer is I don't really know anything about what paramedics and EMTs do. I'm learning as I go here. But really I get to sit down with doctors, sit down with paramedics, and sit down with EMTs, learn the skills that I need to be teaching to them from them, and then I package those into interactions, flash animations, things like that, and then put them all into a cohesive course, a really cool course, and package it all together. And so through that process, like I said, I'm learning cool stuff. I'm learning things I never thought I'd learn. I've learned to read EKGs and diagnose different types of heart rhythms. I can't do it as well as they can, obviously, but I've started to build a course on it, so that's been pretty cool. I've learned to do CPR the real way, which is with a team of like 6 people. So not just the one person doing the best they can CPR, but like the real EMT paramedic CPR. So it's really cool. So I really enjoy my job, and I really want you guys to see how pervasive technology is in society, and to understand that the kinds of skills that you're going to learn in this class, especially with the Microsoft Suite is used everywhere. I use it still, even though I'm doing, I'm using other programs as well, but I'm always kind of pulling in stuff that I've done in the Microsoft Suite to use in, this next program that I'm using. So if you guys have any questions during this class, please feel free to ask me. I want you guys to feel comfortable enough to ask questions in this class, and I want you to be able to answer each other's questions in this class, or at least take a crack at it. I do not see everything. I'm not watching like a hawk, so if you guys make a post or something and you want to draw my attention to it, send me an email, send me a text, and say, hey Jed, can you check out my discussion post? And I totally will, okay? And don't get too far behind in the class, but also don't be afraid of turning things in late. I'm not going to mark you down if you turn things in late in here. The only reason I would mark you down for being late is if you tried to turn in 10 things at once after, 3 weeks after a deadline. The reason for that is that creates a lot of extra work for me. But I really appreciate you guys taking this class. I hope you learn a lot. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm happy to work with you, and welcome to my class.